Hey everybody, welcome to Wednesday Night Live. Hopefully this is going out about right. Good. Now that I can hear it, making sure. Welcome to Wednesday night. If this is your first time joining the stream, then thank you. And the whole point of this stream is to chat and have questions, answers. I only get so far in the comments. I'm actually a little behind in answering all the comments, but generally I answer all the comments, but I can't see any follow-up questions and stuff like that. So if you have questions about drones or cameras or lenses or microphones or anything photography, filmmaking related, ask in the chat and I will do my best to answer it. Yeah, that's it. I will not be streaming next week because I will be on a job in Texas and I won't, anyway. I won't be able to stream, I don't think. So I'm just saying for now that I probably won't be streaming next week. But drone shots. Hey, how are you? Keith Brown, Mark H, Bent Rail Productions. Hello, Jim Kilgo. I don't know why I always say your name wrong. Good evening, Mateo. Hey, no problem. Good to see you, Paul, Jim Anderson. And Keith Brown. Wait, I already said hi to Keith Brown. So Keith, you got 2 highs. 10 toes. Your weather is down here all over your yard. Come get it. Yeah, apparently. We're not getting much of a winter up here this year. It's been, it's been okay. Just we've very, very, very little to no snowfall this year. So it's an odd winter for sure. But what can you do? That's life, right? I feel like that it's just a little dark back there. Let me make an adjustment here if I can. So how's everybody doing? I hope you're doing well. Let me know where you're from too, because I'm curious. That's why it is low. I think it was at 30. That's better. Yeah, just a little bit more oomph back there. Not that much oomph. That's too much. I think we'll probably be in that amount of oomph. Yeah, super riveting live stream, I know. Let's see. Jacob, you asked, first time tuning in live. Hey, welcome. Thank you. Enjoyed the camera reviews. You have a DJI Action 3 and an Android device. How can I get the free telemetry data for a speedometer in the videos? Oh, does the Action 3 do that? I never tried that with the Action 3. Yeah, I don't know, Jacob. I never tried that with the Action 3. Generally, all that stuff is done through the DJI Mimo app. I think. Pretty sure. I don't know if you can do it on the Action 3 because I don't remember the Action 3 having a GPS system built in. And actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if the Action 5 has GPS built in either. Does it? Now you really got me thinking. Because you need GPS or you need something to tell it where it's going. And I'm 99% sure the Action 3 didn't have any GPS. You had to get a separate little GPS device. Which your Android might be able to do. But yeah, I haven't messed with that. Sorry. The Iditarod from Willow to Fairbanks because of no snow. Yep. The second time, I think it's the second or third time in history they've had to do that, Jim. R.A., you saw your video on the DJI Action 5 Pro and the footage looked nice. You've seen a few other videos that said the firmware updates made the quality worse. Any comments on that? It hasn't made the quality worse on mine. I have 2. Yeah, so far everything has just been good and better with firmware updates. Yeah, I wouldn't say that. I did let's see, the Brandon, you did a camera review of the Sony A6700 a couple years ago. Do these cameras have built-in film simulation and are they Wi-Fi Bluetooth enabled? None of the Sony cameras have built-in film emulation. A couple of the newer ones have the ability to put your own LUTs in there, but that's not the same thing. Yeah, none of the Sony cameras have built-in film emulation. What I would do is run it through something like Cinematch, which I really like, or Film Convert, which also works really well. But yeah, they don't. But the most of the Sony cameras in the last few years, like 5, 6, 7 years, all are Wi-Fi, Bluetooth enabled to be able to control it with your phone or connect to it that way. So yes, Connie, you're in Vermont, Detroit, nice. Mainly electrons. Maine is also getting way less snow these days. Biggest snowstorm this past weekend, just over a foot. Wow, that's yeah. Been a while since I've been to Maine. Like 20-something years, 22, 23 years, I think. I came and climbed Mount Katahdin, which was very fun and very cool. And it was in the summer, so it was very nice. Maine was actually, I was blown away how beautiful Maine is. It just, yeah, really beautiful. Anyway, Mark H, she got up to 2 degrees above zero for the high today. I am so sorry, Mark. Yes, sorry, and I don't envy you. 69, Mateo. Ryan Sloan. Hey, long time no see, Ryan. Any Mavic 4 news leaks? Nothing yet, but there's a few of the leakers on X/Twitter are teasing that there's going to be some more leaks coming soon, Mark. So hopefully soon. As you saw, DJI just released the Osmo Mobile 7 and 7P, which I'm not interested in reviewing or testing, but maybe I should. I don't know. Gimbals don't interest or excite me anymore. I used to use them a lot. I use them a lot less. I use them on client work still, but not they're just not, I don't know, they're just not that exciting to me anymore. And the tech has gotten so good in the last couple of years that it's very small iterative changes. And so, yeah. And then they have another new announcement coming tomorrow, I think, which, if I had to guess, is probably the RS Mini. What's the latest one? The RS3 Mini or the RS? Are they the RS4 Mini? I think it's probably the RS4 Mini, if I remember right from leaks on Twitter. So that I'm actually a little bit interested in because a very small, lightweight gimbal could be nice. But yeah. Let's see. Just got the Osmo Pocket 3 and love it so far. Also got the Freewell ND filter pack for it. Awesome, Jim. Funny you say that. The next video on this channel will be a long-term review of the Pocket 3, which should be coming tomorrow or Friday, depending on how fast I can get it to be finished editing. And then, yeah, so Ryan, you're from Maine and you live in Southern California now. Wow, that's that's quite a shift. Jeez. That's a long, big shift. JHB, you just received the N3 goggles and Motion 3 controller to try the FPV with the Neo. Any tips? Loving the Neo, so much fun. Nice. No huge tips. It's very intuitive, and I think you'll have a lot of fun doing it. Definitely get in a nice big open area and enjoy, have fun. But yeah, the Neo actually it's a really fun little drone. Not something I would use to film with, but it's for fun. It's fun, if that makes sense. Ryan Sloan asks, any suggestions for a follow drone for motocross? Top speed probably around 45 miles an hour and cheapest option. Ryan, there's nothing on the market right now that will track that fast. Just will not. So if you're flying it manually, honestly, I would say a chase drone, like an FPV drone. I mean, the Avata 2 could handle that speed pretty good. That might be a good place to start. But there's nothing that's going to automatically track at that speed. The fastest I think anything tracks right now is maybe 30. And then you're talking like an Air 3S, which can get complicated, if you're relying on the drone. So, yeah, that's a tough one. Whoop Media. Aside from the flagship Mavic series, what drone would you rely on most for getting the job done? Air 3 or Air 3S, Whoop Media. That's, of that style of drone. Anyway, the yeah, the Air 3, and then I bought the Air 3S for to do videos about on the channel, and it has definitely kind of taken that place now where that's the one I carry with me most of the time for hiking, filming, all that kind of stuff. The Air 3S it's fantastic. Hey, Bob Casey, mainly electrons. I agree. That's kind of what I felt like when I was there. I was like, this is like not in a bad way either, but like mini Alaska, or yeah, very very similar in a lot of ways. I was really surprised, and yeah, when corner to corner. Yeah, exactly, Ryan. I would say the Avata too. If you're wanting, it can't track things, but it could keep up with those speeds. Flying the Air 3 Spectre, technically live in Florida, lots of sunlight. Probably buy ND filters for any you recommend. Mateo, I would assume that the Freewell ones would work for that drone as well, and that's what I would recommend. The Freewell ND filters for the Air 3, the split ND filters for sure. Not the Air 3S, the Air 3. Different. Bill Watson, you just got a DJI Action 5 Pro. The only feature missing is the ability to feed recorded videos directly into a monitor via HDMI. Any suggestions? Not offhand, Bill. I mean, there's probably a good workaround way to do that. Not a good one. I should say there probably is a workaround way to do that, of like USB-C out into a laptop, and then from that laptop feed HDMI out. But that seems like a lot of work just to get it to a screen. Yeah. That's my only thought. That doesn't really make sense to do though. So, Ryan, yeah, if you're wanting something to follow you while you ride, but you're going to be limited to about 30, 32, 33 miles an hour, maybe, probably the Air 3S. So, but you need to have the controller with you, and you need to be like able and ready to take control of the drone, especially if you're doing anything around trees and tree branches, because no matter how good the obstacle avoidance is on these drones, you can't trust that it's going to be 100%, because it's not. Bill Watson? Yeah, but GoPro took that away in the GoPro 5 or 6? 5, I think. And they made you buy a media mod for $100-something. And they haven't put any HDMI out again in GoPros since the 5 without you buying a expensive mod. So, thanks, Bob. Yep, everybody hit the like button. Mainly electronics. Yes, that's true. Take the original filter off first. Anamorphic lenses to film with. I have, Jim. It's been a while. I used the Siri ones back when they first came out, or Siri ones. But yeah, I love anamorphic. It's just not practical to film with for the most part, but I love it. It's great. Is GoPro going out of business? I don't know. I think it's going to heavily depend on what happens in their next GoPro, the Hero 14. From Australia. Love the videos. Thank you. Thanks for the kind words. Appreciate it. How do you say Lightning McQueen in French? Elaine, I have no idea. I hope it's not something bad. Oh, and then I got a couple emails. I gotta answer these emails here as well. See if I can find them. I really need to do this better. Oh, Roger Snyder. You sent me a link to one of your videos, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I can't guarantee I'll have the chance to watch it anytime soon, but thank you for setting that in. And then somebody else. Oh, Dylan Harrison. Nope. Wait. Oh, yeah. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Yeah, I'll be honest. I've had people asking me. I've had a lot of companies asking me to review their stuff, and I've been saying no to basically all of them. They usually come with very unrealistic expectations about how fast that review will get out. Like they want it within a week or 2 weeks, which is ridiculous. And then some of them are saying also like we get to use whatever you produce with it as marketing materials for whatever we want. And in which case I say, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you wanted me to review this. If you want a marketing video, then it's going to cost you this much, which I never hear from them again. And then, yeah, and a lot of it is it's just not stuff I'm interested in reviewing. I could have jumped in on the Osmo Mobile 7 review train. But I'm not excited about gimbals. So, yeah, I said no thank you to that one. Yeah, so I gotta find... Oh, and then Brennan, you asked me about the Ronin SC. Brennan Maines. And it sounds like you may have gotten a lemon gimbal, and you might need to send it back because it sounds like you've done everything right. And yeah, it's either that or you're just trying to put too much weight on the Ronin SC, which is also possible because the Ronin SC was pretty lightweight gimbal. So, and I think those are all the emails I got. And honestly, I've just come to the conclusion like if I get sent emails, that is how I'm going to answer them. So if you're watching this and you sent me an email, thank you for the email. This is how I answer emails now because I don't have time to type a response to everything. So, Flash McQueen. Any word on the next Mini? You have a Mini 3 Pro that's been great. You're contemplating the Mini 4 Pro or just wait for the 5 Pro, Fugi. There's no leaks about a Mini 5 Pro. The ones that came out a couple weeks ago have been proven to be false, fake ones. And so, I don't know, this fall might be when the Mini 5 Pro releases. Maybe. It's hard to say. I know the next big drone that DJI is going to be releasing will be the Mavic 4 Pro, which hopefully here in the US we'll be able to actually get our hands on it and use it because it looks like it'll be a beast. DJI support suggested a UVC to HDMI, USB-C to HDMI converter, which sells for $169 UVC. I haven't heard of that, Bill. I would be curious to see if I think I tried that and it doesn't work. Like a USB-C to HDMI. But that doesn't work. I've never heard of that. What is that? I'm kind of curious now. A UVC to HDMI. This is oh, okay, so it's USB-C in. Oh, I mean that would work. Yeah, that would work. You know, if you want to get something like that. Huh. That's got me thinking about another idea. Which is not. Anyway, that would work. So, yeah. It is kind of a bummer that all the action cameras have removed HDMI outs or even the ability to do USB-C HDMI out, the signal through HDMI, or, to be able to use like a USB-C to HDMI converter. A cheap one, not a good one like that is. But yeah, nobody's had it in there for a while. You just received your Mini 4 Pro with a Fly More bundle, extended flight batteries. Will the battery put the drone over the weight limit? Gene, yes, it will. And depending on where you live, if you live in the U.S., so when it's under 249 grams, it won't broadcast remote ID. If you put the heavier batteries in, it will broadcast remote ID. So be aware of that. But yes, the heavier extended flight time batteries will put it over 249 grams. And then legally, you need to comply with everything that a drone over 249 grams needs to comply with, or 250 grams. Christian, the Air 3 can use the latest goggles. Can the Air 3S? Christian, not yet. I don't know if that's something DJI is going to add in a future firmware update. I assume they will, but they haven't said anything about it, so I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of weird that it can't, but it can't. So yeah. When will we get the Avata 2S or Avata 3? Maybe this year. I don't know. I haven't heard any rumors about it or anything. So if we do, though, it'll probably be fall time. If I had to guess, I would say fall time is when DJI would release a Mini 5 Pro and or a Avata 2S or 3. Mateo, how much will it cost with the tariffs for a brand new Mavic 4? It could be hundreds more. Yeah, Mateo, it could be, which sucks. Like, yep. You're saving up for a Mini 3. Awesome, Uriah. Mini 3 is a great drone. Good, especially a starter drone. That's a great one to start out with. Indeed, only test and review stuff you want to do. It shows in the video and ends up being a better experience for the viewers too. Yeah, I agree, Alien Drones. Like, for sure. And honestly, like, that's why I was like, I'm going to make a Pocket 3 long-term, whatever, more than a year later review, which is the next video will be on the channel. Because, like, I genuinely have so much fun filming with this camera, and it has become such a staple for me to use since it was released. So I just am like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And, yeah. I've been talking to a couple other creators, too. And more I'm hearing that they're like, yeah, I'm kind of tired of dealing with companies that, they don't want to pay for the value they're demanding. And not necessarily like from here's a review video that's sponsored, because I don't think that's ever a good idea. But, they like, especially if a company's like, we want to use the stuff you create with it to basically market our product. That's not a, exchange for product type video. That's a marketing video that they're trying to get for free, because their product, what they're sending you a $400 action camera or a, $600 lens. How much is that lens costing them to make? A couple $100, maybe. I mean, that's where I get kind of ticked off at people that are, talking about how, like the Action 5 video, great example. They're like, this video technically is sponsored because DJI gave you a camera. I'm like, okay, yes, we could argue the finer points of that or not. I mean, it's marked as a whatever it is, and I clearly disclosed that DJI gave me the camera for the video. And I'm like, but if you think that a $400, $350 action camera that probably cost DJI $100 to make or less, makes up for the fact that I will spend, 3 or 4 days putting that video together and, $180 in gas to drive places. I mean, it just, that is what it is. But anyway, it's stupid. So, but the last few, there have been a few products I've been genuinely interested in. I've said, yeah, let's talk. I would like to work with you on the, doing a review of this product. And then they came back with, you have 10 days to make it from the time you receive it. And then, we get the rights to reuse and repurpose all of the content you make with it for whatever we want in perpetuity, basically forever. And like Hover, Hover Air X, the X1. They finally reached out to me a few weeks ago or a month ago, and were like, "Hey, we'd love to work with you on doing a review of our drone." And I was like, "Great," because I would genuinely like to actually test that drone out. They were like, but that was their response, was like, "You get the drone, within 2 weeks you have to have a video out there. You have to give it to us beforehand so that we can approve it," which I don't do generally. And then they were also like, "And we have the right to reuse your video and anything else that you create with our drone to basically do whatever we want forever." And at that point I was just like, "Oh, no." And I think I responded to him and I was just like, "Oh, if that's what you want," I was like, "Here's the rate for a sponsored video or a marketing video," or whatever I said. And I haven't heard from him again yet. Weird how that is. I was like, even the Hover Air X1 Pro or X2 Pro, whatever it is, the newest one that has 8K, blah blah blah. I'm like, it's $700 to buy. For me to go out and spend 2 or 3 days creating, and basically to drop everything I'm doing and go do that, like I'm either A, to comply with that contract, turning down multiple thousands of dollars worth of work elsewhere, or it's just not worth it. And I'm just like, forget it. I would rather go out and buy one at some point and then review it. So yeah. Okay. You're about to make a video, you're right? Awesome. Conriver Design, you're looking for a new camera. Your last was a Canon 5D Mark II. Wow. I shot on 5D Mark II, but that has been a long time ago. That's a great camera, though. The 5D Mark II was a beast. You don't have any kit now. Which direction should you go here? Lots of buzz about Sony the last 10 years, Conriver. Do you still have any Canon glass, Conriver? Do you have anything at all, or are you just like starting from scratch? Answer that, and then also, what's your budget, and what do you want to shoot with it? Like photos, video, give me some more information, because this, by the way, is the whole point of this Wednesday night stream, is because of these kind of questions. Because what's the best camera? Well, what do you want to do with it? How much money do you have to spend? Like, those all questions are very relevant into like what the best camera is going to be. So, Conriver, so what kind of stuff do you like to shoot? Are you doing mostly photography or video or like 50-50? Are you, do you really love to do wildlife photography? Do you do lots of really low light stuff? Like, answer those things for me, and then we can go from there. Mark H., did they ever figure out what the drone situation was in New Jersey? Not sure, all the sort of different media reports. So, Mark, it was a case of mass hysteria BS pumped up by the media and a bunch of other people. They were all authorized flights from either like a research standpoint, or it was private people, or, whatever, flying drones. Half of those things were aircraft, and people were just being dumbasses and doing stupid stuff because it would get you famous on Twitter or wherever you posted it for, 10 seconds. But yeah, those were all authorized flights. The thing that ticks me off, though, is why our government couldn't come out then and say, hey, these are all authorized flights, and just shut it up. We had to wait 4 months for somebody in the government to do that, and it had to be a whole administration change. So stupid. Anyway. Ask all your questions and share your opinions, Brian. Don't know all. I know more than some and less than some. And yeah, do the best you can. So thank you. Thanks for the vote of confidence, though. Conriver, photos mostly landscape, some video, don't need a long lens, like long exposures, like architecture too. Okay, Conriver, so you're coming from a Canon ecosystem. What's your budget? That's going to be a big one too. But honestly, if you've come, like your background's working with Canon, then I would I would probably stay with Canon. Sony has come a long way. They have really come a long way. You know, and you could start with a A7 IV with a kit lens or a couple lenses. That would be fine. That would do really well for you. The oh my gosh, Tamron lenses that they've been making for Sony bodies lately have been really fantastic. So, you know, A7C2, that would be a great one. If you want really high res, then A7CR, or if you have the budget, A7R5. But, you know, that would be great. Those would be great options for you. You'd be really happy with that. If you don't want to learn a new, like, menu system and operate the way everything operates and stuff like that, then, like, well, and depending on your budget, like the Canon R5 Mark II, which is what I'm filming this on right now, or doing whatever, is an awesome video and photo camera. It is insanely good. I freaking love it. That being said, like, just about any of the cameras that have come out in the last few years are going to be amazing. So, yeah. Yeah, if your budget is like around $5,000, then I probably lean toward the Canon. Budget would like to stay as low as practical. Background, classic film photography. Lost interest going digital, but alas, here we are. Can't remember. Ah, gotcha. Okay, so I would do a Sony A7C II and get a Tamron 17-28 to start out with. Like, that whole combination should run you, I don't know, $2,500 maybe. Oh, never mind. Those are more expensive than I thought they were. Still, it's a very good camera. I mean, if you want to go full frame, then that's what I would say. Get the A7C2 and the Tamron 17-28 with what you say you want to shoot. That's where I would start out with there. If you don't mind going like APS-C, and the only reason I say full frame is because you came from a Canon 5D Mark II. If you don't mind going APS-C, then the A6700 is a really solid camera. And then Tamron makes some great, like, really wide angle lenses for that. They make it like a 10-20. No. 8 to, what was that one? Tamron 10 to... Oh, it was 11 to something. 11 to 20. That's the one I was thinking of for APS-C. So you could do that. And then what's an A6700 cost right now? $1,300. So all up about, or $1,400. So all up about like $2,000. You could have a really solid 26 megapixel APS-C camera with a really solid lens from Tamron. Then that's probably where I would go. If you don't mind going like not quite as wide, right around 24 millimeters is your widest, then Tamron also makes a 17-70, right? 17-70. Yeah, so it's like 25 and a half millimeters wide at the wide end, and then 70, so it's like a 25 and a half to like 100 and something. And that's a great combination too for the A6700. So that gives you some options there. If you want to go cheaper than that, I just don't think you're going to be happy with anything cheaper than that, frankly, because you've come from some very good stuff in the past. So yeah. You recently, let's see. Christian, have I tried out the new Matrice? I have not. Would like to, but I have not. Mateo, yeah, exactly. So ridiculous. Mark H. You recently did an external battery review looking for one for your Canon R5C. Impressed with magnetic snaps you demonstrated. Yeah, that works really well. The other thing that works interestingly, Mark, is if you can get the batteries from the new Canon R5 Mark II, apparently that gives you a whole bunch more runtime. Josh Satin did a really good video on that. So let me see if I can pull that up. Let me see. Josh Satin. Let me, Mark, I want to put this in the chat. This is for you. So that might be an option for you. But if you need more runtime than that, then the core ones, the way I've been doing it, with the snaps and stuff, is actually works really, really well. Okay, where am I? There, Mateo, you recently edited footage with your Air and tele camera, and in one of the videos the horizon was leaning left slightly at the start, but by the end of the clip it was a bit to the right side. Does that occasionally happen? Possibly a glitch or a bug, and is there a way to fix it in post afterwards? You have Final Cut Pro and you haven't noticed it frequently, just for one or two short videos. So it does happen occasionally. I don't know why, but it does. I have it happen on the Mavic 3 every now and then, and on the one of the Air 3 drones. To me, it happens, especially when you're like panning really fast or pushing sideways really hard. Sometimes it seems to happen while you're also like tilting the gimbal and doing stuff, but all like at fast speeds. If I notice it while I'm recording, I'll just wait for it to like settle down and then record. The other way is to go into your Inspector tab on Final Cut. I wish I could show you a screenshot right now, but I can't. And under the transform part, there's a rotation, and you can just rotate it slightly. And you can keyframe that, so if it, to keep it level. And you have to punch in just a tiny bit, but it'll be fine. So, yes. There you go, Mateo. Hey, Jeff Hudson. Ever try a Blackmagic camera? Tom, I used to have a Pocket 4K for a while. Liked it. It was fine. It was fun. I don't particularly care for them that much. The image they came up with is beautiful. They just don't work for me because I need autofocus a lot for what I do. So because I'm usually doing like solo interviews where I'll have, an A and a B camera, and then I'm also a lot of times conducting the interviews, so I can't be babysitting the camera, making sure it's in focus. So autofocus, reliable autofocus for me is crucial. Conor, you started looking at A7 or A9 without knowing. I mean, those would be great. Actually, you know what, Con River? If you can get an A7 IV, do that because it has an EVF. And with photography, you'll be much happier with an A7 IV. Now, if you want to step up and get you don't. That's budget, so don't do that. At A7 IV, A7C Mark II and A7 IV are essentially the same camera, just in different bodies. But if you want a nice EVF, a decent EVF, then get the A7 IV for sure. And then it has more of like a classic design for a body too. So, yeah. And if you're going to buy it from, B&H, Amazon, whatever, and you want to click on one of my affiliate links for anything on one of those stores, whatever you buy in that will help, support the channel. And I do appreciate that. Shameless plug for using my affiliate links. Anyway, what's the over-under on Wednesday night streams before the Mavic 4 releases? I have no idea. No idea at all. I don't know. I still think it's going to be April sometime. So, Carolina aerial visuals. You were a little surprised the Osmo 7 was released. Tell us who you think they really still uses phone gimbals considering all the other options available. Realtors? Maybe Carolina aerial. Realtors, yes. And I mean, there is a time and a place for that. Most of it to me would be creators who primarily use their phones and they just want to get a little smoother, or they want to be able to active track themselves, in a spot or in doing things. Like To me, the phone gimbal especially, gimbals period are getting to be a harder sell, but a phone gimbal especially is a much more difficult sell in this day and age because the stabilization out of these things is so good now. So, Mateo, thanks for the advice. What do you... We'll do that with the short video trying to make Anna Maria Island. Nice, Mateo. Good. Ciotti FPV. What's up? Have I switched completely over from Heroes to Action 5s for FPV? Not completely. I have a GoPro 12 and 13, and I have the Action 5. I do like the Action 5 when you run it through GyroFlow because you get so much more finesse and control. But some of the clients I work with just straight up, they want GoPro footage, so I will put a GoPro on instead. And I don't have I don't have any naked Action 5s, so occasionally I still run a naked GoPro or a GoPro 10 Bones or whatever that one was too, just for lightweightness. Like a Chicago Auto Show, I was there filming some stuff for ABC, and they're like, yeah, we're going to fly through stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, the Avata is too big to fly through some expensive cars. And so I did a little naked GoPro and a little, 95 millimeter FPV drone did the trick, But in that case, yeah. So anyway, not completely. But I think overall, my preference to work with the footage, I definitely love the Action 5 for sure. And especially when you pull it into GyroFlow, GyroFlow it really does do some nice stuff to the footage. It's really good. So Ciotti, I'm kind of surprised you watch my stream or that you're here on the stream, but anyway, thank you. I know very well who you are, and I've watched a lot of your videos. I've never been able to watch your streams. It's just a very bad time of day for me. But yeah, anyway. Appreciate everything you do for the FPV community too, by the way. You haven't been able to pull the trigger? Yeah. Now, actually, Ciotti, you want to try and make a naked Action 5? I have one here that has a cracked screen. I'm sure it's possible. I just... Anyway. Yeah, so that's been my one hang up. Is I have a couple of clients that they just want GoPro because they know that footage, they understand it, and then, sometimes it's the naked GoPro thing too still. And then, but for me, I really do like the Action 5 footage, and it matches up to other drones, the Pocket 3, stuff that I'm often working with. Unless I'm working with the Inspire 3, which then you're talking the Ronin 4D, but that's a whole different ball game for budgets and all that. So, yeah. Anyway, Mark H, what do I think about the 16 to 35 RF? Wait, are you talking about the new one they just released, the really small, lightweight one? Because I kind of think I might be trying to buy that lens at some point. It's super small and really, really lightweight. But other than that, the L series 15 to 35, I really like that one. Right now I'm doing the 24 f1.4, but yeah, that new 16 to 30, yeah, that's the one you're asking about. I really want to try it out. It looks really nice. It's small, it's lightweight, it's compact. It looks like a great thing to take with me into glacier ice caves, because that's where I go and where I do things. You'll see more glacier ice caves coming up on the Pocket 3 video, which should release tomorrow. Anyway, Ciotti, you don't have any naked heroes? Full fat stuff 100% of the time? Wow. I assumed that you flew a bunch of naked hero GoPros. Dang. All right. I do get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. Generally, I always, gosh, yeah. The whole forgetting to press record thing is real. It has bit me a couple of times. Yeah, the I get it. I do get it. I have run before the Hero 10 Bones thing came out, I would run a Hero 11 or 10. Oh no, that was when I was running the 8 too. So the 8 or the 10, because I skipped the 9. I hated the 9. And I would run it with the USB, the iFlight USB to the balance plug connector, just to like save a little weight. But yeah, the only time I use that like a naked GoPro or that small is when I'm flying the tiny 95 millimeter stuff, and I'm talking really small gaps. Everything else, honestly, almost everything else I've been flying FPV has been a 7-inch or my big like Sicario, Akira, big like cine lifters, which and then they're like, "Can you hit the gap?" It's like, sure. Like, you don't mind this, Raptor, Komodo, whatever, going up in flames with the cine lifter if it doesn't work out? Like, no problem. But like, I hardly ever fly a 5-inch anymore. I really have been digging 7 inches for the mount. I mean, it's partly because I deal with a lot of wind, and I love like, mountain surfing. But yeah. So anyway, 7-inch has been my sweet spot for like the last 2 years now. Like for me, for my stuff. And I really like the way the 7-inch that I built flies. It just is so well tuned, and it flies so good, and it's so smooth, and that's really hard to beat. Plus, it has a lot of power. So, let's see. Carl, is the Pavo 20 Pro the best starter drone for FPV for Cinewood flight style? Oh, that's a Ciotti question. That's definitely a Ciotti question, because I've never flown the Pavo 20, so I couldn't tell you. Hoping the Action 6 Pro is 6K, allows ProRes, but mostly oversample 4K and 6K for pan and scan banister post. That would be amazing. I doubt that will happen, but that would be amazing. Ciotti, you've been watching for years? Really? That is so bizarre. Just so wild. Your 20s and 30s got obsessed with camera lighting, bunch of gaffer work, and then you found FPV in your late 30s. Well, I mean, I found FPV in my late 30s. I might have been 40. How long have I been flying FPV now? Yeah, I basically was 40 when I started flying FPV. And I loved it. Although, good Lord, there's no way I can keep up with some of the kids. My son included, my youngest son, like he picked it up and he's just a beast at it. But, But I understand cameras and angles and what makes a shot good, and that is what has helped me do a lot of FPV and professional work, because, most of the stuff you use FPV for in professional stuff, they're like, I don't care if you can do a power loop. I don't care if you can do a, backwards Matty flip or anything like that. They're like, I just want you to be able to get good shots of stuff and hit your timing and your cues right, which is often the hardest part. But, yeah. Anyway, so broke your Vada 2 out of Kinnick River, Smiley. Oh, dang, the other day. I drove out to Kinnick Glacier the other day. It was awesome. Anyway, hit a tree doing a dive mount. Definitely going to build something a little more powerful. It's easier to fix. I'm sorry. I should be laughing. That sucks. But yeah, look at doing a 7-inch, Smiley. Like with the mountains and the wind we have here, a 7-inch is really, really nice. But it's not ducted, like, so there's that too. Obviously, best just 2-inch rig, best very slow, short range stuff, speed, efficiency, you go with size. Flying the Alta X, Carl? Yes, I've flown an Alta X a few times. It is a big drone, but I mean, it flies like any other drone. And if you're reasonably competent flying in manual mode with an FPV drone, then you'll be able to fly an Alta X reasonably well. There are some other things going on there, a lot of other things going on there, but yeah, I've flown one, and it is, the first time it's intimidating when you have 4 36-inch propellers taking off, because it sounds like a small helicopter hovering by you. It is a small helicopter. It's huge. So yeah, but yeah, basically want a Mavic 3 Cine action cam miniature post. I am with you there. I would love that. Like this, if the next Pocket 3 can have a 1-inch sensor like the Air 3S has, or the Pocket 4, or a dual camera system like the Air 3S has, I would be thrilled. I tell people this all the time and nobody believes me till they get one, but I'm like, this is the most fun little easy to use camera that has unbelievably good image quality for what it is. It's not going to match up to DSLR or mirrorless camera or anything like that, but like the Pocket 3 it's ridiculously good. I can't wait for the Pocket 4. Yeah, if you watch my YouTube videos in the last year and a half, I would say 90% of them, the majority of it has been filmed on the Pocket 3. Yeah, for shooting small gaps with a stupidly expensive cars, you have an easier time to dial than 3-inch City Whip that's got nice tall ducts to slow it down and keep it tracking nice and straight. Yeah, Ciati. Exactly. And for me, a lot of it was like, you're going through windows and stuff like that. And I was just like, the only one I had was, I think it's a 95. It's the Cine Whoop that, oh crap. Yeah, it's going to bug me. I have a few different ones, but it's the, anyway, that's before the stream gets really boring and totally off the rails. Yeah, it's the QAV Pro or QAV, whatever that one was. I bought the frame. It's not the 4-inch. It's the small QAV one. I bought the frame and built it out, and I've been pretty happy with it. It's time for a rebuild. It's getting a little long in the tooth. Actually, mostly the flight controller's having issues now, anyway. So, but that with foam bumpers around it so that if I, God forbid, did tap a car or something, it wouldn't do anything. And then being able to just fly nice and slow and smooth through stuff. They were like, can you do this? Can you do that? I'm like, yeah, not so much. Like this can go through small gaps. So you want to go a little faster, I have other options for that. But yeah, they were happy with everything I shot. So that was fun. It was super fun to go into the Chicago Auto Show, after everybody's done. It's because it's the media day is done and everybody's done. And so there's some people like cleaning up and there's some stragglers and stuff. But basically a free run of the entire floor to run around and just film stuff for ABC. Super, super fun. Yeah, I made the Subaru booth nervous, though. Subaru does a great booth every year, like lots of trees and lots of stuff, fake trees and all this, like a huge booth. And they they got nervous with me shooting as many gaps as possible in their booth. But it was really fun. They had the funnest booth to shoot because I was like, yeah, this is fun. Anyway, 2.5. Yes, that's the one. And yes, I like that one with the little naked GoPro on there, or the GoPro 10 Bones, which is what I was using this last time. Like, that's a great little platform for so many things like that. I also have the smaller, like there's a smaller 95mm one, and I can't remember who put that out there either. But anyway, I really like that one too for very, very small, like the indoor, like house tours and stuff like that, which I don't do much of, but it's a great drone for that. Anyway, let's see. Pocket 3 is amazing. Smiley, agree. Mark H, do you get out to Beluga Point very often? I go there quite often. I don't live stream from down there very often, but yeah, I go out past that a lot. Would the Neo work for car shots like that, or is the camera quality just not good enough? Smiley, the camera quality is just not good enough. The Neo is purely just a fun drone. The camera quality is not great. Just got home looking forward to daylight. Yeah, daylight's coming. Bannister post, you do find FPV pilots, including me, think they will rock as a cine-style pilot, Inspire, Alta, X, even Mavic, but that's just not true. Both take a lot of practice. Bannister, yes. It takes a lot of practice, and there is... I don't know. There's just a difference the way you approach those two styles of drones in the way you control them and kind of your thought process of how you fly them that I've noticed there is it. The only way I could describe it, I guess, is like going from fixed wing aircraft to helicopter, rotary wing. Like the way you approach flying them are two very different things because with a rotor craft, you can stop and hover if you need to. You can make very small, tight turns if you need to. The fixed wing, you're always looking at, both of you are always power management, but fixed wing, you can't just stop. Like you have to have enough room to turn around. You can't turn around on a dime. You have to have enough space. There's a lot of other, it requires, and what you do, how you respond to the aircraft, depending on what's going on in emergency situations are very different in those two aircraft. So it's kind of like that with GPS drones or stabilized drones and FPV. It's like you have two very different mindsets on how you fly them and what you do. So yeah. Edit on desktop or laptop. I edit on desktop mostly. I have a Mac Studio here that I edit on primarily. And then when I'm traveling or I'm out and about and stuff, I do edit on a laptop. I have a MacBook Air M3 because I used to have a bigger MacBook Air or MacBook 16-inch MacBook Pro, but I travel so much, and I just had to get something smaller and lighter because yeah. Anyway, he went 3 tries and get 2 on set. Started saying can't fly FPV till you fly out the Inspire packs first. Bastard. That's a good one. I like that. Building out a film director's cart. Do you use a cart? What's your experience with them? First Squadron, the only carts I've experience with are the innovative carts. And it's huge. It's heavy. But once it's set up, like rolling around space with that cart is awesome. Or in a park. I did a shoot for Chipotle with what's the NFL player, famous NFL player, Mahomes, and a couple other NFL players from that team. I am not a sports guy. Anyway, and we were rolling around with Inspire around like the North Shore in Chicago and a couple of other places around there, and having the innovative cart there was awesome because you could just roll it through the park to the next spot and do all this stuff. Made it super easy. But yeah. In terms of Neo camera quality, the new 04 Lite uses that setup on a 50 gram tiny whoop quality camera. All of a sudden seems much better ripping around the garden. That's true. I guess somebody is your use case. Like, yes. So, the Neo is not a terrible camera. It's just, you don't have any control over it like you do on the other drones. And so I'm a little spoiled and I'm a little stuck up and I'm a little snobby when it comes to cameras and image quality. So it's not to say that the Neo doesn't give you, nice looking footage. It absolutely does. It just, it has limits. So, Mark H., thank you very, very much. I will give you thoughts on that in just a second. Oh, really, Ciotti? I'll have to check that out. Interesting. Yeah, I have the 04 Pro that I'm sticking in my 7-inch. I haven't gotten a light yet because I've been wanting to do a new toothpick build. Because a toothpick build would be, I love flying the toothpicks. I got a baby tooth frame and built it out as a toothpick. I freaking love that thing. So I want to do a couple of toothpick builds for just mess around for fun. I want to do a 2S with the 04 Lite, 04 unit, and then those will be just for fun drones. But the 04 actually does give you pretty good footage, so they might be for more than just for fun. But yeah, anyway. My thoughts on the Canon R5 or the Canon RF 14 to 35 f4 LIS USM lens. Mark, thank you again for the super chat. I'm not a big fan of that lens. It has a lot of weird issues going on. It's not a terrible lens, but I just think for the money, you should either just get the 15 to 35, or I have it's over, put away. It's in my Pelican case. I got the RF 10 to 20 lens, which I'll be doing some like comparisons with, and I really like that lens a lot. It's expensive, but it's really wide. So yeah, I think if you're gonna go with one of those, I would lean toward the 15 to 35 or the 10 to 20. Or like, if you're looking at budget, then maybe I just get that 16 to 30 f2 2.8 that they just released, because I think you'd be happier with the image quality on those. So yeah. Backyard, definitely tell camera's limited, Smiley. Yeah. The thing is, if you know the camera's limited, then you know where the limits are. You can't push the highlights at all. You have to like kind of underspose just a little bit to keep the highlights from blowing out too badly. But it's not terrible. I mean, I say that coming like, freaking the original Mavic Pro, when DJI released that, like the image quality of that thing was terrible by today's standards. We just advanced. We've advanced pretty fast. Neo is so close to being good. Is super looking forward to chasing drift cars again with the 04 light on a 1.5 inch whoop. Man, that sounds so fun, Siati. That sounds like a blast. That's what I would lean toward, Mark, is that RF 16 to 20, 30, RF 16 to 30. That's what, personally. Like, I'm even thinking about not selling, but probably like getting it just for hiking and backpacking and everything else. Although I already have a 15 to 35, but it's like half the weight, so, and it's much cheaper. Anyway, all right, that is going to do it for the stream. I need to wrap this up. Let's see. Knowledge of all under 400 feet. Do flying cars have the right of way over drones? Just kidding. Currently, as the law is written, any manned aircraft, basically drones don't have the right of way over anything. So, yeah, Siati, I got to check this out because it sounds like so much fun. Carol, wait. I think that DJI is going to release a Mavic 3 or Mavic 4 in probably April. So don't buy it yet. I would hold off unless you really absolutely desperately need one. Then you could get one. But yeah. So, all right. That is going to do it for me for the stream for tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me here tonight. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'll be working in Texas next week, so I don't think I'll be able to stream. If I happen to be able to, I will. It'll just be my phone. But till then, the next thing coming up on the channel is a Pocket 3 long-term review. You'll get to see how I finally destroyed my original Pocket 3. And some pretty cool ice cave footage, too, and other stuff. So, but yeah. Thank you all for being part of the channel. Thanks for being part of this. I really appreciate it. And until I see you again soon in the next one, be safe and be smart. Cheers, everybody.